Yo, fancy community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the TTFSL, episode 12. It's your boy Michael, back with the results of the season finale. Did Haaland deliver? The answer is no, as the finale ended in a dud. 6 points turned into 12 for captainers, 18 for triple caps. I would definitely say it's not a result that we all hoped for. We are not excited, we are not content. But sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles, especially seeing that Salah continued his hot streak, a 15-point haul from Mbuino. So there was a lot of points on show, and also some disappointment as Solanke and Dominic Calvert-Lewin continued to frustrate owners, and of course Bruno ducking points as usual. All that said about Game Week 9, we move into Game Week 10, and Game Week 10 promises a lot. Managerial shifts, Ten Hag out, Ruben possibly in, but Ruud in right now. Who will be the manager for United come that game? We'll have to wait and see. Will City bounce back versus Bournemouth? Question mark. And of course, Spurs. Big disappointment in Game Week 9, failing to score. Son out injured. How will Game Week 10 look? All that and more. But first, we must take a look at my team and how we did in Game Week 9. Well, it's back-to-back weeks with green arrows, as I have halved my rank in the last couple of weeks, as I'm currently in the 1.1 million overall ranking, up from 1.5 last game week with a massive 69-point game week. And we're looking to see how my team did. It's frustration again in the goalkeeping position, as Flecken just can't seem to return, so we're leaking points in the goalkeeping position, 1 point. In defense, Mykolenko and Everton conceded versus Fulham. I will be in here with the goal, so 2 points for Mykolenko. Gabriel off early, injured, 1 point. And of course, Vardiol saving the backline's graces with a massive clean sheet and full bonuses for a total of 9 points. In midfield, we talked about Mbuino's 15, the last minute shot going in, moving from 7 up to his haul of 15. Palmer just continued doing cool Palmer things, keeping it frosty with 10. Rogers came off at the 58-minute mark for a 1-point stinger. And of course, Foden disappointing again, no returns, just a clean sheet for 3 points. Up top, Solanke, aka Soblanke. No, will he stay much longer? I don't know. 2 points. Wood, massive performance. 2 goals, maximum bonuses, 13. And of course, Captain Haaland, a goal, no bonuses for the double six, which turned for 12 points. So again, 69 points, up to 1.1 million overall. Could have been better heading into the Salah game. I was in the 700,000 ranking, but of course, that goal just pushed us right back down. So hopefully we can keep those green arrows coming and we move up those rankings in the upcoming weeks. So looking at the red flags in my team, the first one is becoming a major issue, and that's Flecken. You know, we are just leaking points at the goalkeeping position. Another 1-pointer. Poor form. And of course, the alternatives in his price range just raining in the points, whether it be Sells. Earlier it was Sanchez. Now Henderson bringing in the clean sheets. So right now we are just stuck with a poor asset there. Flecken, a definite red flag. In defense, we saw Konza return to the starting lineup. But is he locked in? I'm not too sure, because Cash, Diego Carlos, Pau Torres, and of course Digne looks like the ones running for Villa, but maybe Konza forces his way back in. And also Villa's form when it comes to keeping clean sheets is not up to mark right now in the early runnings of the season. So maybe we could move him on now, especially to an asset like Alnuri, who is just gaining popularity. But more on that later. And of course, the big injury concern coming off the Liverpool and Arsenal game is Gabriel going to be able to play for Arsenal in the upcoming game week, so will he be back after the international break? Hopefully we get some news from Arteta to clarify the situation, but currently he's flagged and there's concern on whether a $6+ million asset will be available. If not, he'll definitely have to be moved on to another asset. In the forward line, I've spoke about him earlier, or I've hinted about him. Solanke is becoming a massive issue for that 7.7 price tag, as we are seeing the lower budget forwards, whether it be Wood, who I already owed, Vardy, Cunha, as he's gaining popularity as well, or even Danny Welbeck, just continuing to bring in the points, score goals, and get bonuses, while Solanke is just blanking week after week and frustrating owners. It's not like he's in the box getting those chances. So he's an asset right now that is definitely a threat to be moved. I think he is the biggest red flag in the team right now, and I'm definitely looking to move him on very, very soon. And a red flag that is not in the team but is of great concern for me this week is no Mo Salah. Like, I believe that Mo Salah is the best captaincy pick. You'll definitely see that in the captaincy corner. Spoiler alert. But without Mo Salah, I'm definitely feeling a little uneasy not having him in the team, as I think he could absolutely go berserk versus Brighton. If you rewind the clocks and remember what Cole Palmer did to the same Seagull team, it could be very, very tough watch for those who don't have Salah, especially if the majority go to captain the Egyptian king. So that is definitely a red flag and of great concern to my team. And now with every red flag, there must be solutions. So the first red flag, as I alerted everyone to, was the leaking of points in the goalkeeping position with Flecken. While Flecken has played each of the past 9 game weeks for Brentford, he has not kept one single clean sheet, and the save points are just not adding up to plug the leak that Cell owners have been getting, or the Sanchez owners, or even the premium keepers outside of Raya. And I don't know if the situation will get any better. So because of the losing of points, being a Flecken owner, I think that moving him on to someone like Sells or even Sanchez, as mentioned before, in the same price range, could help turn fortunes around. While I'll be giving him one more week because I have other fires to put out, I'll definitely be looking to move on Flecken if he can't seem to get his points up in this upcoming game. In defense, like I said, Konza and Gabriel are the red flags. And the one defender that's going to be plastered on everyone's feed for this upcoming game week, whether it be YouTube, X, or whatever platform you used to follow transfers, it's going to be Ryan Alt-Nouri from Wolves. He's already moved from 4.4 million up to 4.6 million in the last week. So we're seeing a lot of traffic with a lot of managers bringing him into their fantasy teams. However, there's one little concern. He's already on 4 yellow cards, so one more yellow would mean a suspension. So we definitely have to keep that in the back of our minds. But with the fixtures Wolves have on the horizon and his attacking threat, he's definitely one to bring into the team, especially at that 4.6 price tag at the time of recording. And now in the striking position, like I said, Solanke or Solanke is becoming a major issue. Fortunately, there are different options or different routes you could take with moving on Solanke. But the most popular route, and the route that's on my radar, is another Wolves player in Matheus Cunha, currently at 6.5 million. I expect this asset to rise before the Game Week 10 deadline, because a lot of managers are already bringing him in, especially after that 9-pointer in Game Week 9. So Cunha is definitely a popular choice this upcoming game week. For those who don't have Wood, I have to mention him, as Chris Wood has been absolutely scintillating form this season. Currently at 6.4 million. I expect Wood to also go up in price as managers are flocking to the New Zealand hitman. So definitely, if you don't have Wood, you bring him into the team. Fortunately, I have him and I've been reaping the rewards thus far. If you have a little bit of money in the bank and you're an unfortunate Dominic Solanke owner, a player that has been mentioned here before that I definitely would recommend managers take a deeper look at and possibly bring him in is Nico Jackson of Chelsea, who's coming in currently at 7.9 million. Again, you're going to need a couple 0.2 million, 0.3 million to bring Jackson into the team according to when you make your move. But I think that this asset is definitely worth his price tag. We're seeing Chelsea absolutely be phenomenal when it comes to the offensive side of the game, and Jackson is the tip of the spear when it comes to the FPL, as he's been getting all the stats for Chelsea. So with Chelsea's fixture turning magnificent in Game Week 12 onwards, he could probably get a heads up on Jackson. They do play United this upcoming game week, so they might be a manager bounce. Not too sure, but I still believe United is there for the taking. So he'll have a little bit of funds in the bank. So Blanky move to Nico Jackson could definitely be on your radar. And finally, it's a guy that came back from injury and now scored 2 goals. Unfortunately, fantasy owners would only get a goal and assist. I'm talking about Visa from Brentford coming at 5.9 million. Now, this asset is exceptionally more spectacular for the non-Embuino owners. So if you don't have Embuino and seeing that you need part of what is looking like a dynamic duo now for Brentford, I think Visa could be your way into that tandem if you can't move for Embuino due to squad restrictions or budget or however you build a squad. So you could put a little spy, as I say, on Embuino, because those two have been absolutely brilliant when fit. Embuino has been playing the entire season, but of course Visa got the injury, was amazing before he got it, came back now, and it seems like he's picking up business right where he left off. So at 5.9 million, again, this asset could raise before the Gameweek 10 deadline. Definitely look to bring him in for Solanke. He's saving a little funds, and you could probably move for another premium with the money saved. Unfortunately for me, I can't move for Visa because I already have 3 Brentford assets in the team. An honorary shout out this week to Jamie Vardy owners, and if you have a wildcard and you're looking for a 1-week punt, him versus Ipswich could be a play. So I think that you could get great value for this 1 week with Jamie Vardy and also Danny Welbeck. But I'm not too sure if I have Welbeck over the assets I mentioned, because that could be a little bit of price chasing. And those are the solutions to my red flags thus far. So with all that talking, you're probably wondering what are my immediate plans for my team. So if you look at the final boss team right now, we could see that the Gabriel injury is kind of holding back my immediate plans, because I'm waiting for news on if Gabriel will be available this weekend. If he's not, it's going to be a simple Gabriel out, Alt-Nouri in move. If I have word that Gabriel is fine going forward, we move this week. Like I said, with Cunha on my radar, it's going to be Solanke in and Cunha out. Unfortunately, those extra funds won't make me able to move Foden on to Salah directly, because I do believe that Salah is the best asset in the game to own this upcoming game week. Unfortunately for me, I'd have to go without Mo Salah. So this week again, the move is going to be Solanke out and Cunha in. But if we get news that Gabriel can't play for the upcoming game weeks, I'll definitely have to move him out. And that's the plans at the time of recording. I know this little segment called the observations this week has become a little popular segment for those who tune into the show. So the observations for this week, we have the marquee matchup, as we say, between United and Chelsea this upcoming game week. It's Ten Hag out, Ruud currently in, but will Ruben be in there the time the fixture comes around? We'll have to wait and see. So is there going to be a new manager bounce for United, and will their attack finally fire? We saw the chances, we saw the Dalot miss. We're saying that there's points on offer, but the United attackers just can't seem to capitalize. So maybe the new manager bounce comes in and the players find some form, find some rhythm, and the points start to come in. The third observation is that Wolves assets continue to rise as the masses flock to Alt-Nouri. We're seeing 4.4 to 4.6 and Cunha. So if you're looking for a differential, these two are definitely not going to be those, because we're seeing a lot of managers move towards them. So if you're looking to take a swing, I definitely recommend you look elsewhere. Fourth observation is, well, Chris Wood continues to punish non-owners. Will Visa follow his lead? Well, we are seeing what Visa has done since returning from injury. He's one with low ownership, great price tag. A lot of managers like him. They liked Wood earlier and didn't move for him. One benefit of having Chris Wood is that he's on penalties, but Visa is equally as explosive. So definitely you want to see if Visa will continue in Wood's shadow from earlier this season. And the final observation is, with the season finale being a dud, is it time to sell Erling Haaland? I know a lot of people are waiting for my thoughts on this one, and the answer is simple. It's going to be team dependent. If you have a few free transfers banked and you can allocate the funds effectively without taking hits, I think Erling Haaland could be a sell. Salah, Palmer, Saka, even Son when fit, Watkins has been delivering, and there are a lot of budget strikers who are keeping Haaland in check when it comes to his explosive points. So you could have Wood at about 9 million cheaper, and he's not too far off Haaland's point tally thus far. So if you have the ability to spread the funds effectively without taking too many hits, he's definitely a sell. If you're on wildcard, I could see you going without Haaland on a wildcard. But if you have one free transfer, I don't recommend taking a hit to remove him because they do play Bournemouth, and I expect City to win the game. Haaland may be involved, so taking a hit may not be the greatest play this week, as he might not be able to repay the hit immediately. But if you could bank the transfer, you could definitely move him on in the near future. So moving Haaland is team dependent. I don't hate it if you have the ability to allocate the funds effectively. And that's all the observations heading into Gameweek 10. And now the final segment here is for those who have that captaincy dilemma. So have no fear, Captaincy Corner is here. And as promised, if the season finale turned out to be a dud, I wasn't going to put Haaland as the number one captaincy option this game week with the other assets firing. And true to my word, the number one captaincy option this week, it's going to be the Egyptian King Mo Salah versus Brighton. If we rewind the clocks to a few game weeks ago, we remember what Palmer did to this same Seagull team. It was an absolute beatdown from the Iceman. And I expect Salah and Liverpool to win this game. They may have explosion if Brighton continue to play at high line. So Mo Salah is going to be the number one captaincy option this week. And I think he's the number one fantasy option to own this game week. Number one asset all around. Number two, it's going to be the Iceman Cole Palmer. It was a close nod to number two, but I think with United being there for the taking, Cole Palmer being in scintillating form, we're seeing goals, we're seeing key passes, we're seeing assists. I think he has to be number two on the list. So if it's a toss-up, you're looking to go away from Haaland and you have both Cole Palmer and Erling, I think Cole Palmer gets the nod this game. In third position, we can't leave him off the list altogether. No, he's not been in great form, but if you have this asset, he comes in at number 3. I'm speaking about Erling Haaland versus the Cherries. We know who he is. We know what he's about. He's not been doing it in recent time, but the chances will come. Erling Haaland, number 3. Number 4, it's going to be Mbeumo from Brentford in the Monday night fixture versus Fulham. I think there could be a lot of goals in this game, as the Monday night games normally brings goals and points. And Mbeumo is as good as they come. It was a close nod between him and Visa, but I think Mbeumo still having the penalties edges it for me. And the cheeky ball play, again, this is not the 5th best asset, but if you're looking for a home run swing, something huge, something very different, this is the pick for you. And this week's cheeky ball pick, it's going to be Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest. They come up against West Ham. 4 meets fixture. And I think this could be a differential play for all those who own a New Zealand hitman. He's not going to be a very popular captaincy option. So if it does go off, you're definitely going to be one of the few that made this play. So Chris Wood, a cheeky ball play for Game Week 10. And that concludes Captaincy Corner for this Game Week. And that concludes this week's episode of Proper Things. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me. I hope I helped you all with your fantasy team. So if you're enjoying the picks, you find the picks picking, don't forget to go down in the comment section and leave a comment. If you don't agree with the picks, if you're going against what I've said or you have better alternatives, I'd also like to hear from you all. If you have different observations as well, don't forget to leave your opinions below. And while you're there, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm very appreciative of everyone's feedback thus far and all the support. And I wish everyone luck. And don't forget to do proper things in all walks of life. I'll see you all next week.